What is going on, DDs? Happy Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Titan Talk.
Yep.
Hope everyone's been having a great week thus far, but I'm Isiah Kilgoon with me, and we're here to just chat, talk about SMITE 2, answer your questions. Not a whole lot to cover for today's show, just a couple hot fixes that went out over the past couple days that we want to loop people in on.
Yeah, we figured that Monday's show was jam-packed with stuff.
Absolutely.
We didn't leave much time for questions, so today will be more of a question show. We're happy to talk about things, and after we run through a few little notes from things that we've already updated.
Cool. Speaking of a few little notes, let me bring up the handy-dandy laptop, and we'll go through them really quick. So this is the roundup from yesterday that was posted out to Steam and Discord and Reddit and all that good stuff, with a few bug fixes from yesterday's roundup. So we fixed an issue where players can no longer inadvertently queue for another game while they're in an active one. So that was an issue to where you could get in a weird state to where you'd technically be in a game, but it wasn't showing, and you were able to queue, and then it just mess you up, and you get deserter, and it just wasn't fun for anyone.
Yeah,
so,
not good.
Yeah, fix that one up. We added another potential fix for the issue where the item store overlay impacted the minimap.
Yeah, it still might not be 100% fixed, but there's a lot of different things that can cause this to occur.
Yeah.
So we're hitting them one by one, and it may still pop up, but it should be getting better over time.
Yeah, just keep letting us know if you run into that issue, and we'll keep digging into it.
Yeah, I think KD had it happen in playtest this morning, so
yeah.
probably there still is at least one edge case.
Cool. We added Gladiator Shield and Shifter Shield into the solo roll tab in the item store. We fixed an issue where jump stamps were triggering the UI red dot in the UI. That's that pesky red dot that everyone tries to clear. Jump stamps weren't effectively clearing that after you viewed it, so that should be fixed up. We fixed an issue where Wandering Market coin balance would not display correctly after you made a purchase in the Wandering Market. We fixed an issue where Achilles combat dodge / spear strike was getting more activations than intended on dashes. This will now reflect the ability similar to how it was in SMITE 1.
Yeah, and specifically this refers to like Hydra's procs. You were, shortly after we released, you were able to get 4 Hydra procs off of 1 combat dodge, which is unintended. You're supposed to only get 2. So,
real good.
Yeah, so it was real good at start. It's still really good probably on him, but it's less oppressive.
Yeah. Respawn timers have been lowered in Assault just based off of community feedback. Players thinking that the respawn timers were just a bit too long, so those have been lowered. We fixed an issue where Mulan was applying the wrong type of protection modifier with her grapple ability. And then last up for this roundup, we fixed an issue where Pridwin was ignoring percentage-based protection buffs. That should be polished up. And then the one from today's roundup should be a lot more interesting for people because this one did have some balance changes in it as well. So first up for balance, Amaterasu. Aspect of Valor, we decreased the haste amount from 25% to 12.5% and then decreased the buff duration. Amaterasu, even after the nerfs to the aspect, still pretty strong, so it's getting touched again.
Yeah, very good, especially with the aspect. So this should get her a little bit into a better place.
Yeah. And then Hun Batz is up next. The monkey
also still real good.
Nerfed again. So Aspect of Disruption, Overhand Smash, decreased the base damage on that ability with the aspect on. And then Fear No Evil, this is for both base Hun Batz and aspect Hun Batz, decreased the base damage from 40 per tick to 35, and then decreased the strength scaling from 12.5 per tick to 10% per tick.
Chat has noticed a typo here. Did we decrease the buff duration from 4 to 6 seconds, or did we increase the buff duration, or did we decrease it from 6 to 4?
I'm pretty sure it is from 6 to 4.
6 to 4. Okay, so probably the numbers got backwards there, but it is a decrease.
Yeah, I will go talk to the crew and have them update the notes.
Yeah, Hun Batz still just insanely good with aspect. Like, it turns out giving somebody a big stun is really strong, and we're keep working on getting it together. I think like it was to the point where there was no reason to not play Hun Batz aspect, even in jungle. I myself went 7-0 before the enemy team surrendered on Hun Batz jungle last night because it's just real good. We needed to get it a little bit better. We'll keep working on getting it into a good place. I think it's a fun idea. It shouldn't just be the automatic best choice for every role. Exactly. There needs to be a trade-off, right?
Cool. All right, moving on to a few bug fixes in this roundup. We fixed Soul Stellar Burst immune form canceling VGS. If you were to go immune while using Stellar Burst, it would cancel your VGS input.
That's a weird one.
I know. Yeah. It's a weird one, but hey, I always am super surprised at some of the things that the community finds, but hey, that's been fixed. We fixed Achilles, Shield of Achilles feeling way too fast on hit and made a slight tweak to combat dodge hit timing.
Just trying to make it feel a little bit more SMITE 1-y.
Yep. We fixed towers dropping aggro immediately after switching targets to a god that just damaged a friendly god. Okay. And then under quality of life, We added haptic/force feedback events at the beginning of the draft lobby, aka match found, and when it's your turn to pick. Again, just making it more apparent that, hey, you're in a ranked lobby. It is your time to do the thing.
Or that your match has happened, right?
Yeah.
This is a big thing for console players. If you're not a console player, you won't notice this at all. But this is something that we were missing from Smite 1. I believe somebody asked about it on Titan Talk one day, and I followed up on it, and we were able to get it added. Thank you for reminding us that this was something we were missing. So now you should just, even if you're not looking at the screen, if you're eating some Doritos and drinking a Mountain Dew, when you hear your controller go,
it's time to play. It's time to get in there and get active.
Yes.
Cool. That is it for all the bug fixes and hot fixes and balance recaps over the past 48-ish hours. Again, as we continue to be patching, always be patching, we'll continue to have these notes posted out on Steam, social media, Reddit, all the good things, and we'll let you know what's changed. But outside of that was all we had to cover, so we figured we would open up the majority of the show for community questions. So let's just hop right into Q&A.
Awesome. There are already some questions about, man, it vibrates too much now. Can we make it vibrate less? If we can look at the intensity, maybe we can add a setting to disable it at some point. But I think it's better to have it than not have it. And people always complain that things are too loud or they vibrate too much. But then if we don't do it that loud or they don't vibrate enough, then they complain, I didn't even know that happened.
Right,
so it's a difficult line to walk as game designers about what's the right amount of feedback where you aren't going to miss it, because it's an important thing, but it is still
it's
not
tough
too
to find
annoying.
that sweet spot. But we'll definitely take a look at it. And
This person said that they could hear their friend's controller through Discord. That's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
I did during the playtest today have a controller vibrate off my desk because I was playing keyboard and mouse and I had the Xbox controller plugged in. But yes, I do understand that feedback for sure.
Let's see here. How do we get classic skin tokens? I believe there is one in the premium Wandering Market. So
yes,
if you invest into the premium version of the Wandering Market page, I believe it's on page 3 of the Rise of the Gods collection. And there'll be more ways to get classic skin tokens and alternate ways going forward, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I will say there's one thing that is somewhat confusing about the classic skin tokens right now that we should have made more clear, in that you can't use them on, I believe it's Divine Legacy skins, which are classified as classic skins in our, they have a flag that says they're a classic
hierarchy,
skin because they're from Smite 1, but it's a different subgroup. Yeah. So we probably just need to add the text that says it is intentional that you cannot use them on Divine Legacy skins, but I believe you should be able to use them on all the other classic skins.
I believe the only one that you can't use it on that will be available in the future is the Darkheart Zoo skin.
Yes.
Just because that was an exclusive reward for Vegas attendees. Again, that skin will be priced and available for Legacy Gems / classic skin tokens a little bit later down the line.
Yeah, we probably need to add a tag for not eligible for classic skin token or something that appears on all those skins. But yeah, apologies to people who are upset that they can't use the token on the skin they thought they were going to get with it. I'm going to make a note just to remind myself that we do need to do that.
Let's see here. Can we add draft pick for Joust? I know we've talked a lot about the ranked Joust experience, so this isn't necessarily ranked, but this is Joust draft.
We could. I think we would just need to talk about it. I would want to make sure the designers are bought into it. It's technically there's nothing preventing us from doing it. It's just what do we think is best for the majority of players of the game mode. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I'm not a Joust player. It is literally my least played mode in all of Smite through history. I've played more Domination than I've played Joust. It's just not my mode. People love it, not for me. Yeah, I am not the person to give you the strong feedback on that one.
Let's see here. Any idea when Stealth Grass will be fixed? You can see Khepri recall in it, for example.
There are a few edge case things that can cause you to not properly stealth. We're generally working through most of them, and I think we fixed most of them earlier this week, actually. There was specifically, basically, if you have a thing that you can go into alternate states, it can reveal you in Stealth Grass. Just backing should not reveal. You should be able to hear it, I believe, but not be able to see it. Excuse me. Khepri could be his passive ticking might reveal him, but I'm not sure. It's possible that there's just some weird thing about Khepri that is revealing him there.
What are thoughts on deleting problematic aspects that don't fit, hold on, it's scrolling, the interesting alternative design goal and are just basically stat increases like Thanatos, Amaterasu, and Hun Batz, for example?
So I think Hun Batz does fit the interesting alternative design goal.
It's just too good.
It's just too good, right? I think that Amaterasu and Thanatos are I think Thanatos is also just, it's supposed to be a different play style where you're trying to stack your
max
health versus just heal a bunch through hitting sites. But again, I think it's probably just too good. And it's possible that we'll find a place where we can't get these aspects into a place where they feel balanced and like an interesting alternative. But I don't think that those two at least are particularly bad.
Yeah.
I will say, this is just my own admission. I don't play a lot of Amaterasu. I don't actually know what her aspect does, so I can't comment as to if that's hitting the design goals. But I will say I know it's really good, and I don't know if our negative perception of it as being not an interesting design alternative is just because it's too good, because it's definitely too good. But does it enable an alternate play style, which is what we're trying to get to.
Is there a way we can filter God screen by notifications, red dots in parentheses? Having to manually scroll through every God with a notification is a bit cumbersome.
Yeah, we know it's not a great system right now. I would say we just need to work on the system more than that specifically. So I guess feedback is taken, but I don't have a specific answer for you right now. There's a question about the quality of our patch notes.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very fair question because
Yeah, it is.
SMITE 1's patch notes were pretty freaking sweet, and they were laid out beautifully, and there was the card art, and you clicked on it, and you got the full size, and you had everybody who touched the thing was listed in the notes, and we had design commentary, and we had all this stuff. How long did it take to put those together, Isiah?
I would say for a SMITE 1 update, it was probably a good 10-ish hour process over the course of a week.
Yeah, and how
hours,
long in advance of a patch did we have to have the stuff locked in order to make patch notes?
Oh, for SMITE 1? Yeah, probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's just not the world that we live in right now. Like, we would love to get the patch notes better, and we actually have had some conversations earlier this week. I don't know if people in this chat know who Radar is, but Radar has been at Hi-Rez for 6-ish years, I would guess.
Yeah.
And he has led our
player experience.
Player experience. Yeah. There you go. Our player experience group. So he oversees like support, and at one point in time he oversaw community. Is he your boss again now, or am I your boss? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We really don't pay too much attention to that. I was just technically but he's been a lot on that side, and he's been answering a lot of stuff on Reddit. You might have seen Hi-Rez Radar responding to stuff. That's him.
He's been
really active, awesome dude. Has jumped right back in. Was previously working on other Hi-Rez things for a while. But he is going to be taking point on the patch notes process going forward to try and make patch notes be better. Because right now they're not even comprehensive. Like we miss a lot of stuff that we've done.
The process has been, hey, we patch in a few days. Here's a blank doc. If you worked on something in the update, add it in.
Yeah, like we literally post in like the company-wide Slack, which is like a Discord channel, and we're like, hey, at everyone, did you do something for this patch? Please write it in this document. It's not a great process, and we need to make it better, and we need to make them look better. But are they going to get to the point of where SMITE 1's patch notes are anytime soon? Probably not. But again, I appreciate you being interested in that. And it's a great question. I would love to be able to do that. I wasn't really talking, I was slacking with Clumsy earlier today. And we keep attention to what every other game in the space does because we want to know. And Dota has one of their they put out like 2 big updates a year. And one of their big updates they just announced. And their patch note page for that is amazing.
Insane.
And we were like, oh man, it'd be so great to be able to do that. And we were like that probably took a month to make that page. They probably knew exactly what they were doing. So definitely something we want to do. I've talked way too much about this topic already, but I think it is a good question.
There's definitely room for improvement. And we've got somebody who is leading the charge on making patch notes better from a reader experience and a player experience. So hopefully we'll have some of those changes in the OB4 patch notes whenever they get released a little bit later this week, or maybe on Monday or Tuesday whenever the patch goes live. But yes, it is noted, and it's something we've been talking about internally.
Thank you for summarizing my meandering.
Yeah, no worries. Can we get Ben on the show soon? Yes, I talked to Ben, and I want to get him on the show pretty soon. We wanted to get him on
Wheelish before Wheelish came out, but we didn't have time.
The thing, we're moving so fast. We wanted to make sure we talked about the gods before y'all had a chance to flash test them. But yes, I will talk to Ben. I'll follow up with him. I pinged him yesterday about potentially coming on the show soon. We'll see if we can get some eye candy set up and talk about stuff.
And I know
we've got Bari coming up soon.
Bari's coming up, and I will say this right now. I know that there has been a lot of discourse about the face of Achilles and Aphrodite. And also that one Poseidon skin.
Yes. I forget the name of it, but
The edgy cursed boy.
yeah, he's got like the white hair. Yeah.
So I think we are working on those right now. I think the Poseidon one is done. I saw what that looked like. It looks really good. The other ones are being adapted. I think if you actually look at the models side by side, they're pretty darn close from SMITE 1 to SMITE 2, but they still don't look as good in SMITE 2. There's a couple of reasons. Part of it is like the way that the rigging deforms the jaw right there. Part of it is like the angle that they appear at and the lighting makes them not look good. And the other thing, and I think this contributes to Uller more than anybody else, is their eyes don't blink.
Yeah.
And
He's got the deadpan stare. I've seen some memes about that with Uller specifically.
So I think we're aware of it. We're updating the stuff, and he'll probably have that to share sometime soon.
Cool. Phantom Seas is the name of that Poseidon skin. Thank you, Chatter.
Yeah, Afro's face does look completely different because we remodeled her. But I think it's even the way that we remodeled her, she does not look as good on that one screen that people can easily screen cap as she does in other screens. We aren't going to talk at all about any of the upcoming gods past Bari. Y'all can keep asking questions, but we aren't ready to talk about anything past Bari right now. There was a question about will Artemis and Awelish both come out at the same time next week, or will it be one and then the other? It will be one and then the other. Yeah. We'll have Artemis first next week, and then then Awelish.
All these
too many A gods. Why do we do this? And then Awelish the week afterwards. They both will be turned on though in a flash test later today.
Yeah,
I believe immediately following this Titan Talk, we will be doing a flash test if you want to try those gods.
Yeah,
and we would love as much feedback as we can get.
Yeah, if you're playing on PC, I think Kabir popped in right before we were about to start the show. And I believe the download for the update for PTS should be going out to players soon. If you want to participate in the flash test right after the show, get your clients updated and get ready to hop in. When will the next Wandering Market be, and how often can we expect a new one?
Don't hold me to this, but the current expectation is every 8 weeks there'll be a new Wandering Market. The old one won't go away, still be around.
That's true.
So if you are new to the game, you can pick which one you want to do, or you can just do both the free pages first, and then eventually you'll be able to do a lot of free pages first if you want to. Yeah. But the idea currently is that we'll add a new one every 8 weeks, and then that's and the other thing I guess I should mention is some of you who play way too much SMITE 2, and I love you for it.
Yeah, shout outs to you all.
Have already reached the point where kind of the boosted experience gain in the Wandering Market has worn off. So basically, this is an incredibly difficult system to create because people play SMITE at such different amounts. Yeah. You got somebody like Bobby probably plays 80 hours a week, right? And other people will play 80 hours over the course of 2 months. And 80 hours in a game over the course of 2 months is a lot of time, right? That is a seriously committed player in any world other than I am a top-end ranked player, in which case you're like super, super good. So we're trying to balance it to the point where if you play a good amount of SMITE over the course of those 2 months, you should be able to get everything in the pack. If you play a lot more, we want to reward you for that. You should be able to save up some coins, but we don't want it to just be like at the same pace of earning forever, because then you're just going to like in 1 month, you're going to earn enough coins to buy everything for the year, right? And it's just like, that's not fun, I don't think. So basically, like after I think it's the first 50 levels, or maybe it's the first 80 levels, I don't remember. And one thing that we need to do better is show in game how many more levels of boost you have, or how many more coins you can get from the boosted experience. The amount of experience it takes to go up a level and to get another chunk of coins goes up. So that number of levels that you get of boosted experience will reset every time a new market comes out. So again, in 8 weeks when we drop the next set, or I guess 7 weeks now, then again, you'll have 50 levels of boosted experience or whatnot. So the idea is that you can just always make progress more quickly after one comes out and finish that one. And then you can get a little bit ahead, but you're not going to get super duper ahead unless there's no balancing for people like Bobby. If you literally play 80 hours a week, you're just going to have near infinite coins to some extent. But that's the only other thing that should reset. The markets, the current plan, again, could change. The current plan is that they never go away, and that once you can just finish it. It's there. And eventually we'll just have a list of a ton of them. Yeah, it should be good. And I will say, like, last thing on market, because I was pleased about this, we finally got some data back on how it's doing. And generally speaking, a larger percentage of players are choosing to buy into it and engage with the system than we ever saw with the SMITE 1 Battle Pass. Yeah. Generally, we feel like people are liking it. I'm not. That's not making fun of Bobby. That's dude. I'm respect the dude. But yeah, so generally, it seems like people really like the new system. We largely like it. There maybe will be a couple things that we change for the second one because we always try to make it better in some way. But yeah, generally, it seems like it's been very well received. There's a question about Baron's Aspect. It sounds like Baron's Aspect is not going to make this update, but will probably be in the next update. So sorry for spoilering something that was very work in progress. Spoilery. But I think it actually will say like coming soon where his aspect would go. Whereas normally when God's has an aspect, it doesn't say anything. Yeah, coming soon. Like I said, it's not a crazy one, but it is a fun little gameplay twist.
Let's see here.
I shouldn't answer that one. I have a good answer to one of your questions, but I feel like answering it will get me into trouble, so I'm not going
to. Is Spirit Robe still bugged, or did we decide against the buffs? I believe I saw AJ talking about this because I believe it came up in the Monday show, and he is digging into it. But yes, we are aware that there was a listed Spirit Robe change that didn't make it into the live client, and he is still investigating that to see if it warrants a change or if we're going to keep it out. But we'll let you all know. Let's see here. Thoughts on the sound design in Smite 1 versus Smite 2? Smite 1 felt more impactful to me.
So there's a couple things that we still need to do with the audio system that could contribute to that. Basically, we should have Kellen on to talk about this. So I'm going to very poorly talk about it, and it's probably wrong what I'm saying, but this is my understanding of it. Is it basically like in Smite 1, when you hit somebody or use certain abilities, the sound plays both in 3D space and also in 2D space. So like basically like inside your head versus like in the world. And that is what contributes to sound feeling more impactful. The other thing that we don't currently have, which is more of a longer term thing that we've at least talked about, is currently there can be a lot of sounds going at once, which all are close to the same priority. And we should have a system that basically prioritizes what the most important sounds to hear are and makes them louder and makes everything else slightly quieter. It's something that a lot of games do, but we just haven't gotten to that tech yet. There are things that we can do to make it more impactful. And I will say in-match music is something that Kellen is specifically looking at. He was like, our last implementation sucked. I have some things to make it better. I don't exactly know what, so hopefully you guys like what he's doing. But I trust Kellen, so I feel like it will be good. You want Hun Batz's ult to not fear?
Oh, man.
Man, that's identity changing. I don't know about that one.
You have to change the name. It can't be Fear No Evil. It's
it's now just No Evil. When can we expect to see Bari's kit? About 2 weeks before she releases, I would guess, is when we will start to show her off. Maybe a week before she releases.
Yeah, maybe a week.
She has been in playtests. I will say her kit has evolved over the past couple weeks. It was just too good. No matter how we balanced it, like when Pong was on Bari, it was just like, I'll just go push the Phoenix and kill the Titan by myself now. Thanks. It was just too good. There have been some changes. I think it's getting into a better place, but still got some work to do.
Speaking of Bari, will OB5 be centered around Bari in the Korean Pantheon so that you have more time for other things? I would say she's probably the biggest highlight of the patch.
Certainly.
As always, there's going to be quality of life stuff, skins, balance changes, all that good stuff in the update as well, but she'll definitely be the centerpiece.
I'm sorry, I'm just blown away by Aposh's brilliant idea that it becomes Speak No Evil and it's a silence field.
Mind blown.
That's real good. Very clever. Oh, I didn't see yours, Clumsy. This goes quickly. Oh, you want to deafen, blind, and silence? That just seems like too good. That's almost as good as Fear. Come on.
Oh, man. No, Clumsy wants it to where you hit the ult and then you have 3 different abilities.
Oh, and then it's a true Clumsy god.
Yeah,
yes.
There you go.
Let's see. The Fear animations are hilarious. I will agree with you. One of the best parts of Smite. There's a question about Emperor's armor in particular. I think something we can look at. We're just consistently looking at items and being like, what's the most important thing to bring over next? Which is why this next update has a lot of lifesteal items. And there's a new hunter item too, right? What's the new hunter item? I don't remember.
Learning bow.
Yeah, definitely making progress, making it better.
Yep.
But I can't say specifically Emperor's Armor. I will say there may be a weird interaction with Emperor's Armor because we already have, doesn't Ancient Fury affects that?
Yeah.
Would it double, or we just have to figure that out once we wrote it over? Bring back Winged Blade. You don't like Hussars? Hussars is
Right, yeah.
just better Winged Blade.
It's
very
expensive, but it's better.
I bought it the other day, and I don't even think I needed it. I don't even think there was a slow in the game. I was like, I got a lot of gold. I'm going to buy Starfix. I will agree. Shield of Regrowth and the kind of trigger off healing ones are something that I would like to see come back personally. I love, as I've said, my favorite god is Sylvanas. And I love, you get the Lotus Crown, and you get the thing that gives you a shield when you pick up the things that it drops. Yep. And there's a lot of really fun, like, trigger off healing items in Smite 1 that we don't have yet in Smite 2. Yeah. So definitely an area for us to look at in the future. They Blessed Hoops. Thank you, guys.
There you go.
I've been so in the Smite 2 land. I don't remember the names of things in Smite 1 now.
There's been a lot of talk about people wanting Slash to return, but you have repeatedly stated that Slash and, to an extent, Clash and Siege were extremely low in player base.
Yes.
Just to have an indefinite answer, will Slash be returning ever?
I can't say never definitively, right? I just would say it's not our priority right now, right? I think that right now we still feel like there's a lot of conquest things we would like to improve, whether it's the general appearance, whether it's some of the pacing things, whether it's I keep talking about my turbo conquest, but do you need, I think there are things that we should be doing to the other modes. Assault still doesn't have a dedicated map, and Assault is literally the second most popular mode in Smite 1 right now. Yeah. So I think that those things are more important first. But at some point in time, we could see Siege / Clash come back, but it's not going to be anytime soon, to be completely transparent. And I'm sorry if it was your favorite mode. I loved old Siege. It was one of my favorite modes. I played a lot of Clash. I played a lot of Slash. I played a lot of Clash with Gore's brother. Actually.
Oh wow!
When
nice.
Gore's brother used to work for us too, and we used to play a lot of Clash together. But anyway, yeah, definitely something that we are aware that there's a demand for, but just we need to focus on the core game modes first. Any work been made on the console store yet? I prioritized my list of things to fix yesterday. So I believe that in the next, not for this next update, but for the update after this, there should be a lot of console store fixes and maybe just store in general fixes. So I can't promise what all is going to get in, but I believe that not the update with Artemis and Awelish, but the next update should have as many of those as we can get in.
Thoughts on Thor ult indicator showing up earlier than Smite 1? I believe this is something design was looking into. I think they've isolated it down to certain graphics settings like low, medium, high. Okay. Depending on which one that you had, the Thor ult indicator would show up earlier than intended. So I know that's something the team is looking into.
Okay. Let's see. I feel like chat is once again moving quickly. Yeah. And when chat's moving quickly and there are long questions, that's what makes it hard when we go silent for a while. I'm just trying to read something and it's moving. Come on, guys. Let's see. Yeah, Magi's might be strong, and a 60-second beads with great stats seems a little OP. Might be a little OP. Please play in the flash test and let us know. It's hard all we have is our internal play tests and the feedback that we get from people that play in the flash test to know if something is great or bad before it goes live. And very frequently you can hear numbers on something and be like, that's super OP. And then you play with it and you're like, it's fine. Please, people, actually play with it. Let us know how it feels, and we'll make changes if it needs. Otherwise, the good thing about our new world is that we're always patching, and we can very quickly update it if it turns out to be too good once it comes live.
Since God models were ported from Smite 1, will there eventually be a point when the team is in a more comfortable spot where we could see base skin updates into the new Unreal style?
I don't think it's a comfort thing. I think it's more, and I know people hate the people that watch this show hate this answer, generally speaking. I don't mean to generalize, but people generally like the way that the gods look. They're familiar with it. And when we change things, we usually get as much or more negativity than we get positivity. I think there have been some instances recently where we've done better with that. Like I think Awelish was actually really well received. I saw very little negative feedback. Some people didn't like her hair. Some people had comments about other parts of her anatomy, which I will not repeat. But other than that, I thought it was pretty well received. Yeah. I think other ones, like I think that the Aphrodite update just looks strictly better all around. And some people are like, the face is not good, or I don't like her new outfit. Like, it's always hard to do something that makes everyone happy when we update things. Yep. So and I would say it's not that we're afraid of upsetting the community. If we think something should be updated, then we're going to update it. Like, we updated Cupid, we updated Afro recently, we updated it. We updated a lot of gods, but it's just, if we think something looks good and looks in fitting with the way we want to go, then it's a better idea, generally speaking, to update that for UE5 rather than start from scratch and do something that is more likely to alienate some percentage of the players.
Here's a good one. Is it confirmed that there will be no more new cross-gen skins in SMITE 1?
I do not believe there are any more new skins coming to SMITE 1 at this point.
Any updates on Godbuilder? I'm asking just because I know you all have been meeting about it pretty frequently over the past week.
Dude, it's been a journey. Yeah. We're still we are moving forward on the general design, I would say. A system like this requires it to work with our backend. So our game, as I've said many times on the show, is built on the Rally Here backend, which is a separate high-res company that creates multiplayer game backends. And they have done the work now to be able to support what we have designed, this full item builder system where you can make builds and just name headers and put descriptions on items and share things and yada, yada, yada. So now it's more on our UI team to actually do the work to implement it. Yeah. I don't have a firm ETA. I would say it's probably at least a month out still, and that's maybe being generous. Yeah. It's maybe longer than a month out, but it is something that we talk about every day, and we are making forward progress on it every day. Definitely something we're working on.
Yeah, I've overheard 2 meetings over the past 2 days on Godbuilder, and I know the team is spending a lot of time to make sure that we can do the work to get it in.
Chest store update. There are chests in this next update. You can see them in the flash test. There are 2 chests, I believe. There is one that is classic skins, and there is one that is going to be like mostly cross-gen skins, because that's mostly what's in the game. There was, I will call out, if you were in the previous flash test, there was one skin that was in there that should not have been in there. There was a embalmed Anubis. Yeah. It's like a glorified recolor skin that should not have been in that chest. So that's been replaced with something else. I don't remember what. But yeah, there will be some chests in this new update. They work exactly the same as they did in SMITE 1, where you don't roll duplicates. There's everything has equal drop chance, yada, yada, yada. Pretty player friendly. And they're mainly just meant as a way to get like discounted more, get more content at a discounted price, right? Like a dynamic bundle discount kind of thing. I think there was going to be something else I said about the chest, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty straightforward. Chest. Let us know what you think. Oh, I remember what it is. So previously, we priced a bunch of skins cheap for direct purchase because we didn't have another way to acquire them. Yeah. When we drop these chests, I believe the price is going to go up on all of the classic skins to, I think it's like 1,600 is where they're going to be for at least a little while. Don't quote me on that because our people that spend more time thinking about this would be able to tell you. So if you do want any of the classic skins, and you want to direct purchase them now, I would say this is the time to do that. Otherwise, they're going to be available in the chest at the same price going forward. And you'll just generally see some of the direct purchase prices go up once we have chest as an alternative. Because the only reason the prices were so low was because we felt like players deserved the opportunity to get things for cheap because that's how much they spent for it in SMITE 1, but it's not sustainable for forever to have that low price. Will we have Innocent Rabbit on sometime soon to talk about matchmaking and ranked updates? I have been talking with him about interesting things, and I do not have anything to share.
Yeah, Max has been cooking a lot.
He has been cooking. I hope that he is able to come on the show sometime soon to talk about it with you all. I can confirm that we did add the physical magical damage type to the tab screen.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Update. That's happening. I know one of the other things that we were working on doing, which is a very common new player request, and I'm not sure if it's in this next update or not, was the ability to hover an enemy god in the stat screen to see what their abilities do. which if you guys have played the game for 1,000 hours, you know what their abilities do.
Yeah.
But for new players in particular, it's like, this guy just killed me. What the hell did he even do? So I think that's a helpful feature that we are working on. Yeah, that wasn't a flash test yesterday. Cool.
Nice.
Good.
Cool.
Yes, one of the problems of not having patch notes yet.
I know.
So, I know things that are in development. I don't know what made the bus.
Can we get a sensitivity option for controller for ultimates like Thor and Rama? I know it's not priority, but it feels like it's magnified during their ultimates.
I can ask.
It's like the FPS sniper sensitivity options, right? You got your fully scoped sense versus your regular ADS sends.
Yeah. And the other thing, I didn't write this down, vibration too much or turn off. Yeah. Cool.
Have we thought about adding something similar to LOL dragons? For example, have different Gold Furies and change the map depending on the soul of the Gold Fury. I think it'll be amazing in SMITE 2.
We've discussed every feature that has ever appeared in any MOBA released in history, I would say. I think that there have been some talks about interesting designs that are in that same world. I can't confirm or deny. If we did it, it wouldn't be exactly like that. If you remember in SMITE 1, there actually were like different Gold Furies that had different rewards, right?
Yep.
There was
Oni,
the Oni and the Primal. Yeah. So that was hinting at a system like that with different rewards. I think the thing that's interesting about the Dragon system is more that it makes each game feel a little bit more unique by changing the way the game plays. Ooh, I knocked this down. So yeah, definitely something interesting. Yeah, I have discussed Orb Prime dunking. That is correct. And like, if you are in our job and you aren't playing the other MOBAs to know what they're doing, then you're making a mistake, right? Like, our goal isn't to like replicate what they're doing, but you need to be informed about what your competitor is doing in any industry, right? If you're, I saw a story recently about, what's his name? I think it's Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, has been driving around the new Huawei car.
Oh, okay,
yeah, I think it's Huawei. One of the Chinese like phone manufacturers is making a car now in China, and they imported it, and he's been driving it around because he wants to understand like what they're doing and how Ford can counteract that, right? Like, it's just kind of normal business. You need to understand what other games are doing.
Do we plan to add roles in the search bar, mage, hunter, etc., like in SMITE 1? Will be easier to find gods to play with.
Sorry, I didn't say it again. What was the question?
Adding roles in the god search bar.
Oh, interesting. Maybe. We do have the tab, but I guess you can only see that once you're in the lobby. So being able to figure out what you would... Yeah, okay, I get that.
Like on the God page.
Yeah, there are filters, right? So you can go into filters and select roles, I think, but it might just not be obvious enough.
That's something we can click around with.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take a look at it. Travis was saying earlier today that he wants to be able to equip everything in the lobby. A huge arc of work, guys. I see this is a response to a question. Can you add something to change the jump stamp in the lobby? Yeah, it would be a really big arc of work to do. Probably not an immediate priority, but yeah, I think we also feel that we would like to be able to equip things either in the lobby, or the other thing that is still on our radar that we need to do is the equip all button. Yeah. So it's more easy to just be like, cool, I have this thing. I use it on all my gods.
I'm a PC player. I have an issue on controller when I expand my ability info and I have to press the right. They type this quick in, and I have to press. It pulls up VGS, and I have to do the process again to pull the info up again, and it can get annoying. Let me try and dissect this. So you pull up the ability info.
Yes.
You press right to go to another ability, but it pulls up VGS instead.
Oh, because you're trying to navigate the tooltips. You can do that. Most of the pertinent information is in the D-pad up, like mini K screen is what we call it. But like the thing on the right-hand side of the screen that lists what all of your abilities do and like how they level up. It doesn't show you like all of the stats for all of the levels at once, which I understand some people want to be able to see. Yeah. But generally speaking, that's a better way to get a quick overview. I would say like in terms of you're navigating the tooltips, that is a good point. We don't. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Yeah, press up on the D-pad is what I would do. But if you're trying to navigate the tooltips, that could be broken. They have broken before. Okay.
Let's see here. Are there any plans to bring back the Mysterious Warrior voice pack from SMITE 1 for that skin? I'm not sure how this works. You probably have more context. You're smiling.
We put ourselves into a bad place because when we initially did this, we said that they were going to ship as a package deal, and you were going to get the Mysterious Warrior with the Mysterious Warrior voice pack, or you were going to get the default with the default voice pack. We messed up implementing it, and we did not implement the voice pack. So now people are used to it without that voice pack. So now it's, do we go back and we add that voice pack, and then we upset the people who are used to it the way it is? Adding a second version of the skin just with that voice pack doesn't seem like a great idea. I don't have a great answer for what the best path forward is. We've just been ignoring it, to be honest, because we're like, I don't know the best path forward.
Right.
But yeah, that literally, it was supposed to have the Mysterious Warrior voice pack as the default, was what people voted for. But it was not what we shipped, and people have not complained about it until right now. We all accidentally made the best choice. Okay, we did it. Success. I appreciate the fire emojis to make your question more visible, but I'm not going to talk about the God's Afterbar yet. Thank you. There is a Stone of Gaia-like thing in, what's it called? The Yogi's Necklace.
Yeah.
Heals you 1% of your health, but it does not have the, when you get knocked up, heal more thing. So that is an interesting note. Is the Scarlet Dangerfield knee skin coming to SMITE 2? I don't know, Scarlet. I don't think it's on the calendar right now. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about skins in particular. I only asked that one because it appears that Scarlet was the one who asked that question, which is what's funny.
Thoughts on adding weather changes to the Conquest map?
Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier with the dragons, right? We have had talks about dynamic things that happen to the map that alter the way you play it. Is something like that coming anytime soon? Probably not, but we are continuing to explore and experiment with what we can do going forward.
Can we make aspects visible in the lobby? I would like to see if my team has one or not when I'm selecting.
Yeah, that's fair. I can ask.
Seen some complaints about the profile tab feeling laggy and slow as well.
On what platform? On all platforms? On a specific platform? I'm curious.
While we wait.
Yes. On Switch. Yeah, that's a good joke. PS5 profile is slow. Okay, I'll take a look at that. It's slow on PC too. Slow. Okay. Profile tab, bad. I'll take a look. And Xbox. Bad everywhere. Okay, cool.
Cool. Let's see here. What is your favorite feedback thread that you've looked through recently?
I don't know. I feel like most of the stuff that we're talking about is very... I don't know if I can talk about it. It's like most of the interesting conversations we've been having recently internally are more like, I don't know, just more like general like direction for the game stuff, and less like somebody reported a bug and then we have to dive into it. Yeah. I can't think of a good example of a feedback thread that was really super deeper.
I was lurking in a fun conversation. I wasn't typing, but I was definitely reading everything. There was a fun conversation about bringing back boots in SMITE 2 in the official Discord this morning. So I was lurking in that. That was a fun conversation to read.
Boots are a thing.
Yeah.
I personally liked boots, but nobody else did. I think it was probably the correct move. I think so. Can I tell you guys the benefit of boots from a new player perspective? You never are going to go wrong by building boots, and the version of boots that you build is almost certainly very obvious, right? Yeah. So it makes the game simpler for newer players because it's one fewer item that you need to worry about, and it gives you longer into your build before you can mess things up. It's probably more fun to play the game without boots, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're coming back, but that's always been my argument for boots, is that it is a easier on-ramp to building for yourself because you know that you're always going to build boots. And do I want cooldown or do I want damage? Or do I want, like, there really weren't that many choices.
Yeah.
So it's, okay, cool. I'm not going to go wrong with whatever boots I pick. And then I will build my build from there. But yeah, don't worry. Boots aren't coming back as far as I'm aware.
Please fix Neath's one targeter on instant cast. In early Smite 2, it would show the targeter while the ability is channeling, which would also show the weaves updating in live as she's casting it. It really helped with aiming.
Okay. I didn't know that this had an issue.
Yeah, I know AJ was looking into some targeter stuff as well. So this is a good note that we can follow with, because I believe this came up in some capacity on Monday's show. Unable to swap roles often on console at the moment. Is that on the radar?
That is a known issue. Yeah. There are some, what's the best way to say this? I believe there are certain roles that are not swappable right now. And there's another bug where once you decline, I think this is an intent, but we're discussing whether this is intent, where if I decline a role swap with you, I then cannot swap gods with you or vice versa. Not that's a very often thing that comes up, but it does come up occasionally. Yeah, and just general god swapping, it's the same root issue. I think it's if people are assigned the mid role or the solo role or something that they can't swap. Like there's some, and it's like god or role. So yeah, that is something we're aware of and we're working on. Rotating your character in game is potentially it's like a gameplay decision, because you could, basically it means you're either looking behind you or your character is like, we had something like that in Paladins and people used to abuse it to look around corners and stuff. Yeah. And you can rotate skins in the out of game stuff. In game, I think it's just a little bit harder.
I'm going to pick this just because I saw you talking with the designers about it a little bit earlier. But do you think there's too much farm on the map? Everyone just seems to be doing too much damage too early. The pacing of the game feels like it needs to be slowed down.
I will say we're having conversations about that kind of thing. I think it's too early to say what our findings are and where we want to push it. But I think that there are some pacing things that could be better in Conquest right now. I think one thing that's really like interesting though is like how, and again, it might point to there being too much farm, but like how different a pro level game looks versus a casual game. The match time is very different. The amount of farm that they're able to sneak out of the map is different. It's always gonna be that way in every competitive game, right? The pros are gonna be the best at optimizing their gold per minute, but like in high level ranked games, you're hitting max build and buying 3K pots pretty darn early. Yeah. In more casual games, it's taking you a lot longer. Again, not saying we have not come to any conclusions yet. These are just things that we are observing looking at the data.
Do we have an ETA for when more gods will be added to the AI list?
I do not, but we were having that discussion this morning about like things that we need to be prioritizing for AI. And that was one of the things that I mentioned was the list of gods becomes boring to play against the same ones over and over. So it is something that we're aware of, but I don't have an ETA on it. I don't know what the ranked rewards will be, but I think Max was working on it. I think there was like
working on something,
titles and badges and stuff, but I'm not exactly sure. We do not have any intent to add a Z-axis to the game. Would not be Smite. One of the very early things that we decided was that like a game, like part of what makes Smite feel Smitey and work is the way that you move and aim and all that stuff. And to change that would be just a completely different game. Yeah. And those games can be fun, just not what we are. Oh, it's 1:58. So we should probably
we should do one more question.
A lot of good
questions. That way we
there.
can get ready for the flash test right after the show.
Yes, flash test right after the show. And I have a meeting at 2 that I will probably only be a couple minutes late for.
Let's see here. Let me choose.
It was a quick hour. There was just nonstop
right?
good questions. Good job, chat.
I know.
Bring chests to the store. They will be in the next update. You can see them in Flash Test today.
Oh, that's an easy one though.
Yeah,
we already talked about
it's
that.
not even a real question. I'm just reiterating. It's funny. People bounce in and ask the same questions.
Let's see here.
I don't have any updates regarding tanks yet. That's still not a good question to answer. I got to pick another one.
I see somebody spamming Alani in chat. This is not the question.
This is not the question. We'll get to actual. Yeah. I swear, it's like the 1 bite pizza thing where it's like we end up eating 10 bites every time. What do you have today?
Pink slush today.
I have the Cosmic Stardust
there
today.
You go.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Someone in chat. Did I miss the Alani chat?
OB4 will be on Monday or Tuesday. So not this week.
Yeah.
And I will pick an actual real question. I think this is an interesting question. Can I get a ticket point breakdown at the end of arena games? I understand the scoring system, but it feels weird losing games when you are far more kills than the other team.
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah.
I think that's a cool idea. I think that part of the magic of arena is people just playing the game and fighting and not trying too hard to worry about the tickets. But it is useful to understand why you win or lose, where sometimes it's not clear right now. So I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I will answer one more question just because it speaks to me particularly. Does my wife like SMITE, or is she tired of hearing about it? My wife actually used to work for us. She was our PR person, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So she has spent a lot of time hearing about SMITE. She is not much of a SMITE gamer herself, but I think she's more probably at the tired of hearing about it now after we've been married for
And my question is, can we get a way to adjust individual teammate volume? Some people are just super quiet in voice chat.
That is a harder one to actually do in practice, because then I'm just thinking about how we do it, because basically we would need to have 10 sliders in the settings that then reset every game. It just functionally, I'm just trying to think about how we would do it.
Yeah, it would have to save on a match by match basis. Yeah. Now that I think about it, it does seem like it'd be tricky to implement.
Oh, just 4. Yeah, duh. I'm an idiot. In the tab screen. Yeah, chat, you're right. Not 10, 4. Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking about the number of people in the game. Yeah, so 4. And on the tab screen, NA math. Yeah, I'm sorry. I went to public school. That's my problem. Maybe. I feel like on the tab screen, though, would be really hard for console to interact with it. It's a good question. I will ask the question if there is a way to be able to change the volume of people of your 10 people. No, your 4.
Yeah, your 10.
This is why I shouldn't try and design solutions live. I should just okay, change volume for teammates. Okay, cool. Got it.
Sweet. All right. I think that wraps it up for us today. Again, server should be live just about now for the flash test OB4, and if they're not live now, should be live within the next few minutes. So feel free to hop in our official Discord server, hop in, try out all the cool stuff in OB4. We've got a flash test that's going on, should last for a couple hours. We're definitely looking forward to getting all your feedback and bug reports. And then OB4 still slated to launch at some point early next week, Monday or Tuesday, and Artemis will be available at the beginning of the week. So.
Yeah, and Thor aspect, and the new items, and lots of other cool new features that snuck into the update, because we are always working on new stuff, and we'll ship it when it's done.
Absolutely. So. Chat, thanks so much for joining us today. We will see you in the flash test, and then again on Friday for the last Titan Talk of the week. So until then, we'll see you all in the battleground. Peace.